Hey everyone, one of the things I get asked the most is what are my key takeaways of the research reports that we've done? Whilst I know that the reports that we've done are very quantitative heavy, we sort of do that on purpose because we want to make sure that everyone's reading it in their own frame of reference and we're having as little impact on how people are reading it as possible. But in saying that, we obviously have some key takeaways. My key objective of both the reports was actually understanding what happens in the decision-making process for youth. The cool thing is what we've seen is that there's sort of three distinct phases that young people go through. The first is what we call the understanding phase. So, what is the level of understanding an individual has about a certain pathway. The second is what we call the consideration phase. So this is where young people actually weigh up their options and sort of align it to their own personal interests. And the third is what we call process of attainment. So how difficult is it to actually go down that pathway? To give you a bit of example, in the After The ATAR 2 report, we highlighted to our audience that Australian apprentices can be $150,000 ahead of university graduates when you take into consideration university fees and apprenticeship wages. When we said that to our audience, over 80% said that it actually increased the consideration of that vocational pathway, which sort of highlighted that an increase in understanding actually leads to an increase in consideration. What we saw is the university space in terms of the process of attainment is really slick. They've got university admission centres, they've got really good internal processes compared to the employment and vocational space where sometimes it can be little hurdles for young people which actually really increases their anxiety about going down that pathway, which can then lead them to not actually going down a pathway that they want to. So been a really interesting experience in terms of what we've taken away from the reports. We're currently putting together our third instalment of After The ATAR, which we're going to be launching in March 2020 at our Youth Engagement Summit. And what I really want to do is get an understanding of what everyone's interested in. So if you have any questions that you'd actually like answered, please let me know. So either make a comment or just message me directly because we're actually going to be incorporating that into our next report. So yeah, let me know and looking forward to it.